Stories about giants have been told for a long time in different ways. Some people call them ogres. Giants were so big that the ground shook when they walked. Many think these stories are just fairy tales, but some believe giants were real and lived in our world. What if the giant creatures from old legends were not just myths, but real beings that once walked the earth? We will show you the most mysterious discoveries of giants.
A 20,000-year-old skeleton of a mammoth found in Paris.
Biblical giants. The Bible describes giants in several passages. The Nephilim mentioned in the book of Genesis were said to be the offspring of divine beings and humans. They were described as mighty warriors and were believed to have lived before and after the Great Flood.
This means that the Nephilim were the children that came from the angels who married the women in Genesis 6, verses 1 to 3, and that the Nephilim were the product of these unnatural unions, and they appeal to texts from the 3rd century BC and 2nd century BC, the so-called Enochic tradition.
Another biblical story speaks of Goliath, the giant warrior defeated by David. According to texts, Goliath was over 9 feet tall. While some historians believe these accounts were symbolic, others think they may be based on real individuals with rare genetic conditions like gigantism. Greek mythology. The Titans established themselves as a race of enormous deities since the arrival of the Mount Olympus gods. Giant ruler Cronus existed to such a great degree that he accomplished the impressive feat of eating his own offspring. The myths possibly derived from actual occurrences rather than being solely fictional creations. The Giants of Lovelock Cave. In 1911, miners excavating for bat guano in Lovelock Cave, Nevada, unearthed a wealth of artifacts and human remains. Among these were mummified bodies, with one reportedly measuring 6.5 feet, 198 centimeters, tall, significantly taller than the average Native American male of that era. The miners discovered sandals and tools that appeared larger than typical human dimensions. The local Paiute tribe has an oral history of red-haired giants known as the Site-Ka, who were said to be hostile and cannibalistic. According to legend, the Paiutes trapped these giants in the cave and set it ablaze. Archaeological evidence indicates significant burning within the cave, lending some credence to these stories. However, some researchers like Adrienne Mayer suggest that the giant interpretation may stem from misidentified large animal bones or exaggerated storytelling. Cap d'Oie, South America, 17th century. One of the strangest giant discoveries comes from Patagonia, South America. A 12-foot-tall mummified giant named Cap d'Oie was reportedly found in the 17th century. Even more shocking, the body had 2 heads. The story goes that Spanish sailors captured Cap d'Oie and brought him aboard their ship. However, he fought back and was killed. His preserved body was later displayed in various museums over the years. Many experts believe the Cap d'Oie story is a hoax, arguing that the mummy was either fake or a cleverly modified human corpse. But believers insist that ancient giants once roamed South America, and Cap d'Oie could be proof. The Giant of Castelnau, France. In 1890, a French archaeologist, Georges Vacher de la Pouge, discovered extremely large human bones near Castelnau-le-Lay, France. The bones included a femur, tibia, and humerus, and based on their size, the person would have been around 11 feet tall. La Pouge published his findings in scientific journals, but the bones disappeared over time, and no further studies were conducted. Some believe the bones belong to a person with gigantism, a rare medical condition that causes excessive growth. Others argue that these remains could be evidence of a lost race of giants. However, without the original bones for testing, the truth remains unknown. Gigantic footprints. South Africa, India, and the US, extremely large human footprints have emerged in geological formations located in South Africa as well as India and the United States.
We were brushing out a set of sloth prints, and Matthew found the human print right inside the middle of the sloth print, and that's sort of what sealed the deal. Oh yes, you definitely have the, megafauna and humans together. So that's sort of where the human side of the story all began.
The giant footprints found in South Africa and the United States, as well as those discovered in India, exceed a length of 4 feet. The scientific community debates between using natural rock shapes as an explanation or believing giants previously left these tracks. During 2017, scientific investigators in Bulgaria discovered several exceptional ancient skeletons bearing unusual DNA patterns which could indicate an unidentified human group. Archaeologists from Eastern Europe discovered oversized tools in 2020 that exceeded the dimensions which could be used by regular human beings. Research findings about giant human remains serve as evidence for proponents of giant existence. The question of whether giants really existed remains open. While there is no solid proof of a lost race of giants, many intriguing discoveries suggest that ancient humans may have been taller than we once thought. From Lovelock Cave to the legends of the Nephilim, the stories of giants continue to capture our imagination. Perhaps with future archaeological discoveries and advanced scientific research, we may one day reveal the truth about these mysterious giants of history. Until then, the mystery remains unsolved. Like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating videos. Stay tuned for our next video.